welcome to Kristin's Backpack's first video post. We're coming to you live from Backback, Bolivia, which is a little town just outside of the Amazon. So pretty much when I look over that way, I can see the jungle. You can't see it now, but this is where we're staying, in this wonderful hotel called Los Tucanes de Rure, which I totally recommend if you are coming this way. It's very relaxing, and I love the hammocks. So yeah, we've been moving around now for over 3 months. We just had our 3-month travel anniversary a week ago. So in doing that, we've been moving around to different hostels for what seems like a million years, and living out of our backpacks, which has been going well, but it has been making me think a lot about packing for a long trip, which is different. Well, you think it's different than packing for a short trip, but actually it's pretty much the same thing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about with packing is to check the weather for where you're going, for your destination. Check the weather for the entire trip, not just the beginning, which I mistakenly did. We started off in Brazil, which was hot weather, and pretty much just packed enough clothes for summer. Lots of summer clothes and just a few things for any cold weather, which we moved right into in our second month. We moved to Argentina and then up into Bolivia, where we were living at 4,000 meters and having to wear long clothes at all times. So lots of shopping had to be done. Long coats, hats, mitts, more socks, and underclothes. So yeah, so I would suggest checking the weather and packing accordingly. Secondly, while I was packing for this trip, I had the help of a good travel expert friend who has done lots of traveling around South America and Asia, who was glad to help me. And I did quite well, only packing minimal amounts, but her one piece of advice was don't bring anything white, which I did not follow. So I had 3 white items, a skirt and 2 shirts, which in the first 2 weeks, 2 out of the 3 were in the garbage because they had been completely stained and unable to wash. I did, however, keep 1 long sleeve shirt because I knew I would need it for coming into the Amazon when I want long sleeves and not heavy clothes. But it is no longer white. It's pretty much gray, blue, green, stained with every kind of color you could imagine from different shirts that I was wearing over top of it. That will stick with me until I leave South America, then it will go in the garbage. So I think I would have preferred following her advice with minimizing the white items when you're going on a long trip. Thirdly, let's see here. I think I regretted packing a lot of items, like for example tank tops for the summer weather. I had like 10 of those, when then I only brought 1 sweater, 1 long sleeve shirt. So again, that goes in with the weather. I probably would like to remove half of those tank tops, but I really want to bring them home with me, so I'm going to keep them, but they're kind of taking up space. The other thing is shoes. Girls, I'll have a hard time picking which shoes to bring when packing. I don't really have that problem because I don't own a lot of shoes. But one thing I did regret is I brought 2 pairs of flip-flop sandals, 1 sporty pair and 1, I guess, casual, and I brought a pair of running shoes, which were used in all cases. But I do regret bringing 2 pairs of flip-flops. I recommend bringing a pair of like slip-on shoes that have a back to them, that you can wear when you don't really want to wear your running shoes, like out to the bar or something if you're in a nice city. But just something flat that you can like easily pack into your backpack instead of sandals, because I found myself having to wear running shoes with like a dress or something if I wanted to go to a restaurant or bar. So yes, I recommend 1 pair of flip-flops and 1 pair of just anything you can wear with kind of shoes when you don't want to wear your running shoes that you've been hiking in all day everywhere. So that's the other recommendation. And lastly, I would say don't overpack in terms of, you have a backpack, for example mine was 55 liters, which is a good size because it causes you to only pack a certain amount of things instead of trying to fit 70 liters. But what I think I did was, when I was leaving for the trip, I packed as much as I could into that backpack. And then I found there was no space for new acquired things on the trip. So I recommend just packing as much as you need, and if there's any space left over in the pack, leave it. Leave the space, because you're going to fill it up with something along your trip, be it souvenirs, or for like my example, leg warmers or mitts or a hat, something that you'll need later on in the trip. So I recommend leaving that space that you will fill up eventually along your trip. So those are my 3 words of wisdom here from Bolivia in terms of packing your backpack for a trip. Stay tuned for my next post. I'll talk about what I did here in the Amazon. We went on a tour for 3 days into the Pampas, kind of jungle-esque area, so stay tuned for that post. And I will be seeing you soon. Thanks a lot.